Hi, and welcome to the Rise and Ride show, the space for horse riders who have lost their confidence but want to find joy in the saddle again. If you've ever felt nervous in the saddle or doubted yourself, you're not alone. We've all been there, and this is your place to feel seen and supported and ready to ride again. Each week we explore simple, practical ways to rebuild your confidence, reconnect with your horse and fall back in love with riding. I'm Katy from Align and Advance, and I'm so glad you're here. Okay, let's get started on this week's episode. I wanted to just kind of go back over like a reintroduction. If you are new here or if you've been listening for a while, I just wanted to kind of go back over what I do and why, really. So if you've ever felt nervous getting on your horse, or like your confidence just isn't what it used to be, maybe some people like look fine on the outside and they're just getting on with it, but on the inside they're just not feeling their usual selves. Or if you are trying to get to the next level and just can't. And a really big thing that a lot of people bump up against is jumping heights. That's like a really big deal. So then this episode for you is for you, really. And what I do could possibly help. So I'm Katy and I love horses. It's like a support group. No, I do. And I got my first pony when I was 6, and I begged my mum and dad for a pony for absolutely ages before that. And Father Christmas bought us our first pony, me and my big sister. Father Christmas bought me and my big sister Christabel. What a gorgeous name. She was beautiful, little grey. Yes, when I was 6 years old and my sister was 10. So what an exciting Christmas morning that was. We woke up, we were staying at my aunt's house and she was in the garden. I could cry even thinking about it. It's so lovely, isn't it? And but, you know, if there are any other kids listening, Father Christmas doesn't often bring animals anymore. You know, times have changed. But back then I was lucky girl. So over the years, I've done lots of different things with Christabel. We had loads and loads of fun, hacking, doing shows, jumping. I didn't do Pony Club when I was little, but the yard that we were at was pretty much like Pony Club. There were so many kids there. It was so much fun. There used to be like 8 or 10 of us going out on a hack on a Saturday morning. We had a wonderful instructor that used to come to the yard and teach like us all back to back. She must have had the patience of a saint. I don't think we ever gave the people that were around all us kids enough credit when we were young. We were feral and it was fun. And then when I got older and I grew out of Christabel and I got too big, we sold her to a really, really wonderful family. They were absolutely lovely. And then she did do Pony Club with that family. And then I got Alfie. Oh, my big boy. He was so handsome. He was so mad and handsome and lovely. And I really had so much fun on him. Used to do a lot of showing, working hunter classes mainly. And did a little bit of dressage. But we weren't the best at our dressage. But used to do eventing and a little bit of show jumping, but eventing and cross country and things like that were more our bag. So yeah, did lots of fun stuff with Alfie. Then I had my own business and it was super duper busy. So I eventually sold Alfie and had a break. I had a break for about 15, 16 years until my kids had children and they started getting into riding. So then the fun began again. And then kind of that's when I started to look into more kind of, it always been about the horses, and training the horses. But then I started to look more into the rider mindset side of things, because I lost my confidence a bit when we first got Toby, because he was little, but a little bit bonkers at times. And it was, so I started to look into more about kind of understanding him and why he was behaving the way he was, and understanding me and why I felt worried. Looking into the mindset side of things really helped me discover like why the nerves come up, why we put so much pressure on ourselves, and that loss of confidence can seem to just like arrive out of nowhere, because I was always known as a kid as like the brave one. And when I started to notice that my confidence was dipping, it was a bit of a shocker, and I did not like it at all, because I've always thought of myself as quite a brave person. But I've since learned it's not a personality trait, it's a state. So yeah, you aren't just brave or not brave, and that's that. You can be a really capable rider and still feel anxious or worried in certain situations. And sometimes it's not just like riding as a blanket thing, it's like specific things of riding. Like I said, jumping height. Sometimes people, they've had a problem on a certain part of a hack. So it can be very specific and very niche to like just sort of one area of your riding. Sometimes like you know what to do, but you still feel stuck. And that's really kind of what led me down the kind of NLP route. So I'm a qualified NLP practitioner. And I combine that with energy work. And I am also qualified in equine Reiki and people weight Reiki, but I like the horses. I like helping horses. But the Reiki does support the horse and the rider, because you're so closely connected. So like in practice, it kind of looks like I help riders on a one-to-one basis, completely tailored to them and their nerves and their specific mindset issues. So that might be someone that even feels nervous just to get on, or it could be someone who's riding regularly but they're holding themselves back from getting to the next level. So every rider is different, and then that's why like the tailored approach is best for some people. And also some people are quite private people, so they want to just kind of do it on their own and go down their own path. So that's a really good thing so that if you've got a really specific like next step you want to get to, or if you are a private person and you just want help just one-to-one. But I also run group programs, so they're delivered online as well. And some people prefer some support and to know they're not alone. And then that offers like more of an overview. And then it teaches like all the different skills and all the different tools that we need to kind of get through these barriers that we might face. And then you can pick and choose from those for what ones you use regularly, because it is important to kind of go back over this stuff and use it regularly. And once you know it, like if you bump up, like they say, new level, new devil, don't they? Once you bump up against another problem, you can just go back to it and reuse it. So it's really good to kind of have that online course, because when you work through it, it's a live course, so you work through it with me and the group live. But once you've got all the recordings, and you can go back over it and go, yeah, I want to like use this at the moment, and this is the thing that is most effective for me, because everybody is slightly different and everybody's problems are slightly different. So that's really nice. Because a lot of riders think that they're the only one feeling like it. That's why the group course is quite nice, because you're not the only one. Definitely not. If you were the only one, I'd have no business. So I want to share a couple of really simple and effective things with you today that can help you understand your own confidence a little bit more. So firstly, if you're someone who feels nervous before getting on, here's something you can try straight away. It's really, really, really simple. It's really important that if you know you're about to bump up against something that does make you nervous, that you deal with it before you're sat on the horse, because it's much, much harder to regulate your nervous system and both yours and your horse's energy if you're doing it in the moment. I know sometimes things do happen in the moment, like you go out for a hack and then there's a killer carrier bag in a tree. And you've spotted it before your horse. That is the worst thing, is when you spot it before your horse, because then your horse already knows that killer carrier bag's there because you've gone, oh, oh no. So anyway, so it's breathing before you get on. And I know that probably sounds too easy. Oh, if I just breathe, I'll be fine. But it really, really does help. So if you breathe in slowly through your nose, and then breathe out through your mouth, and just make your exhale slightly longer than your inhale by about 2 seconds, it really helps to tell your body that you're safe, and you can just reset that nervous system to go, no, I'm safe, I'm not in danger, everything is fine right now. And if you do that before you get on your horse, as you get on your horse also knows that you're safe. They often mirror roughly your breathing patterns. They know by your breathing pattern how you're feeling. So when we're anxious, our breathing becomes short and shallow, and your body reads that as that you're in danger. So by changing your breathing and actively changing your breathing, then your signal to your body is that you're safe. Another good thing is, if you go out hacking with people and you get nervous, just keep chatting, keep talking, because it keeps you focused on the conversation, but also naturally your breath comes in and then longer out as you speak. So you're naturally doing that breathing pattern without sitting there and actually having to think about it. So the more you can talk, the better. And if you are riding on your own, sing your horse a little song. Honestly, I don't know if you do this, but I sing my horse little songs all the time about how handsome he is and how wonderful he is. So just that can really help as well. So because horses are prey animals, bless them, they don't realise how big and powerful they are, do they? They're naturally wired to pick up on the smallest little changes of energy and body language. And that is how they've stayed safe and stayed on this planet for years and years and years before we all started shutting them in stables and clipping their fur and putting big rugs on them. They're reading your body, your energy. And if you're tense and upset before you get on, then they do know. They do know about that. And also, if you're having a really, really bad day, this is often a bit of a tangent again, and I do that, I'm sorry. But if you are having a really, really bad day and you think you can't, because sometimes things have upset you that have nothing to do with your horse, and you can't regulate your energy, do a little bit of groundwork and don't put pressure on yourself to go and do anything too big. Go and do a little bit of groundwork, set out some poles, some things that are good for building your horse's muscles, and then take them for a nice walk, and you will feel better, and together you'll regulate each other. It's a nice thing to do. So when your body's calm and you're breathing steadily and you feel more regulated, your horse feels that too. So that's the whole thing that I've been kind of getting at. And this is where Reiki and energy work also comes in. So I like to kind of explain Reiki in the most simple and grounded way. But it isn't about anything really mystical, magical, complicated, nothing like that. It is about helping to reset your nervous system and your horses and helping you to return to a calm and balanced state. When your nervous system feels safe, you come back to calm naturally and you feel good naturally. So just because like it's called Reiki, and that's kind of sounds a bit unusual. It's not unusual at all. It's completely natural for your horse. It's like the most natural thing. It's what their body does all the time. I'm getting woofed at by my cheeky dog. She's been she's been outside. She's just done one little woof, and I ignored her, and now she's like woofing again. She's such a diva. Hold on, just one sec. Come on, cheeky chops. You cheeky girl. Sorry, I don't edit anything. I can't stand editing. So that's it. You've got my me getting my dog in from the garden on the video now, and on the podcast. Sorry. So yeah, it's Reiki's like nothing completely unusual and woo-woo. It is completely natural for horses, and it is first of all, some horses that have been mistreated maybe in the past can sort of take a minute to get used to. When you do like a Reiki, if I do a full-on Reiki session with them, they can take a minute to get used to it because they're kind of not used to this energy around humans. But it's really, really lovely once they do get into it and they start to release, and you see all this like relaxation signs from them. It is really magical. But it's really, really good to use alongside like the NLP with the as far as your confidence is concerned, because if everybody can just go from a state of being like together, then you are in a much better place to move forward. So with a Reiki session, when I actually kind of go out and do Reiki on a horse in person, it is really, really nice if their owner can sit in and kind of feel the benefit of it as well. They don't have to do anything, they can just sit there, but as long as they just think nice thoughts and regulate their breathing and listen to the lovely plinky plonky music that I put on, they can feel the benefit of it as well, and it really helps the connection between them and the horse, so that's really lovely. So yeah, the Reiki and the NLP, which is Neuro-Linguistic Programming, it works really well together because NLP is about like thought patterns and how your brain is wired. So if you ever find yourself, which we all do really, stuck in a loop of like, what if something goes wrong? What if I can't handle it? It's not you being weak, it's just a thought pattern that your brain has learned. And the good news is that thought patterns can be changed. So that's why it's like neuro-linguistic programming. So it's using like language and awareness to rewire your brain. Something called neuroplasticity means that pathways in your brain can be rewired, so you can start to think differently. So rather than telling yourself to just be confident and get on with it, we actually work on changing how your brain responds to the situations that you're putting yourself in. So when you bring it all together, it's just about like confidence on the surface, but it's about supporting your mind and your body and your energy and your connection with your horse all as one thing. So then when those align, everything starts to feel easier. So if you're listening to this and it's resonating with you, there are a few ways that I can support you. We can do like one-to-one sessions, and we can do online group programs, and I can also come out and do Reiki with you and your horse and help to kind of reset those nervous systems. But there's also just at the end, like quick tip, that if you are feeling like you're not very connected with your horse at the moment and things are going wrong, just put on some nice music, go and sit in your horse's stable with them or in the field or wherever you keep your horse, and just do some lovely long slow deep breaths and just feel the connection between you and your horse. The horse can be eating, your horse doesn't have to do anything in particular, you don't have to touch your horse, but just go in there and just sit and take a moment and just be calm and just see if your horse responds at all. The first time you do it, it might be really nice to do it without any food in the stable for your horse. I'm not telling you to starve your horse or anything like that, but just for a moment, if you don't do it around feed time. So I always recommend, if I'm coming to do a Reiki treatment, let's not do it around feed times, because obviously food naturally is, for most animals, the prime thinking of their brains every day, like I must eat to survive. So if they've had their dinner but you haven't put their hay in yet or anything, or I mean if they're out in the field and they're just eating, that's fine, but when they're not eating, oftentimes you can see the signs of release and relaxation sooner. So you might see them lower their head, you might see their ears flop out to the sides, really soft eyes and very blinky, and then it gets to things like yawning, resting their leg, and some horses can even lay down, but like that's unusual right at the beginning. But just look out for some signs of relaxation from your horse while you just sit there with them and just like regulate your breathing and put on some calm music and just take a moment. And yeah, honestly, it is really magical when it happens. So give it a try. And if you do give it a try and you notice a difference, please like comment on here or contact me via my DMs on like Instagram, and let me know how you get on, because I do really love hearing about people just connecting so beautifully with their horses. So just to finish, like if your confidence has taken a knock and you're feeling stuck or anything doesn't feel like it used to, like it doesn't mean that is it. That doesn't mean that it's you. Like I said at the beginning, confidence isn't a personality trait, which I did used to think it was. It's not. It's just a state that you're in at the moment, and it doesn't mean that you won't get it back. It can be rebuilt, and it doesn't have to be forced, and it doesn't have to be scary. So you're definitely not alone in feeling this way. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.